Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my video, and today I'll be doing an overview and a tutorial on how to program your XK X252 transmitter. As you can see here, that came with my X252 right here, and this also comes with the X251, the X350, I believe the X500. It comes with a lot of models, and on most of them I see it's the X6 transmitter, but as you can see here, mine says the X7, so I'm not really sure what to title this video. But basically all the radios are the same, they all bind together, and I have mine, I'm using my XK X100 with this, because this is a nicer transmitter than one it comes with. So pretty much all the XK models are on the same protocol, which is the Futaba SFHSS protocol. So let's get up in a closer view, and we'll go over the settings and how I set everything up for my X252 while we're in there, and just some programming and how to do that with this. So let's get into it. Alright, so here we are at the transmitter here, and we are greeted by 5 switches. One here, up on the top left shoulder, one here, a little red button that does not have an indentation, but you can hear it click on and off, a switch here, and another one on the right shoulder. So on most models, or actually on all of them, this is your throttle hold switch. So this can be, I don't know if it's pre-set up for the other ones, but at least for the X52 or 252, you switch this on in the forward position like this towards you, and that will kill your throttle. Even if you give throttle or you turn idle up on, that will kill your throttle, so that's a nice safety feature. This switch here is for your dual rates. Up is low and down is high, and most of them come pre-set up with this, and you can tweak the settings in the menus, which I will show you next, or later once we get into it. And this red button over here is for recording your screen or your camera feed. You can see this one up here is the FPV monitor, because the X252 does come with a camera on it for FPV, so you click that in and you'll see it start recording on the screen. You just click it once again to shut it off there. Pretty nice, simple, and easy. Over here, this switch is for your gyro. So up is self-leveling and down can be set up for Acro Mode. And now, not all of them come with this, but the XK X252 does. But all of them can be set up to do this. And now Acro Mode is where there's no self-leveling, so say if you tilt it left, it's just going to keep going left, and you have to counteract right. However, even at 0 gyro, I'll explain that later, it still does tend to self-level just a little bit, but it is pretty darn close to real acro. And then lastly, up here on the shoulder button, or not the button, the switch here, it is your idle up mode. So on this one, that basically on the XK X252, you flip that, and that with the gyro off will allow you to do 3D flips, or 3D stunts. So in your center throttle, it'll kind of be forward and backwards. So above that is positive pitch. So if you're in the 3D mode and acro on, so above that positive pitch, so if you go up at all, it'll give throttle upwards. And say you roll over and now you throw it down, you'll flip over, and now, since you are down, the motors will reverse and it'll give negative pitch, but since you're upside down, that will throw you up. So that's how you do your 3D stunts. So for the 3D on this one, you want to have your high rates on, your gyro off, so you can flip over, and then your idle up on. But this is a really advanced mode. Definitely if you're a beginner, do not try this. It does take a lot of time to learn and get used to, but it's really nice that it has it. Big feature of this one. So next, let's go into the menus here. So if I turn the remote on, you can see it as a blue screen, but hopefully if we wait, it should go to gray here. Okay, here we are, and it's blue, and I just left it like this. So we greeted by this screen here. It shows our battery level. Helicopter is the setup for this, and these are our sticks. You can see this moves around when I move that. Let me try and get the camera a little better, and we are on Model 8. So one nice thing about this is if you want to fly other quads, like for say I had my X100 here, all you have to do, you don't have to set up the settings differently, and if you hold both the mode and the back button at the same time, oops, did it wrong, you shouldn't hear a beep if you do it, right there. And then you hear the beep. So if you see that, it now says over here model select, MDL select. So if you spin this little wheel here, you can go through the menus. So model select, model type, swash type, and subtrim. So most of these you're just going to be needing model select. So you click in for enter. And the X252 came set up on model 8. and I set up the what is it, the X100 on the model 0, so you have 10 models here, which is nice, 10 model memory. And you can see it's a helicopter. That's just the way this one gets set up. But let's go back to the X252, press enter, and then click back twice to get out of that menu. And to get into the regular menus, what you're going to do is hold mode for a couple seconds here, just like that, and you'll see reverse is flashing. And once again, we're going to use the little spinny wheel to select up and down here. So we have reverse. This is for reversing channels, say if any of them are backwards, but none of them should be, so don't really mess with that. But if they are, it is a nice function. Or if you have something a little bit different of a copter, that's nice. Down here we have DR for dual rates, so if we click enter on that, so you can see here we have 1, 2, and 4, and 3 is missing because I believe it's AETR, the throttle order. So you have aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder, so you can't obviously change the dual rate of the throttles, so I think that's why that is. And if you see, it's flashing 70 with 1, so we're looking at the 1 here, so if we twist over, you get 2, 70, and then I set the yaw to 75% for my low rates, and that is with this switch up. So now if you see, if I click on one of these, say I'm on 4, I click in, and now we're selecting just 4 here. We can scroll up, and you can make it 125, and you scroll all the way down, you can make it 0. I really don't know what 0 does, but I like these rates I had set here of 70, 70, and 75 for a low rate. And now if we flip this rate switch down, you can see this triangle goes full, and it's now changing the rates. So if we, you can see that there. So now we're in high rates here, and it's selecting, and now I have 125, 125, and 115 set in for the yaw. And once again, you just click on these, and you can go up and down to whatever your liking is. And then when you have that in, just press back, and then you're selecting here again. So press back one more time, and now we're back into this menu where we can select up and down here. So EXP, this is our expo here, so click on this. And it's a line of sight, mostly quad. You do some FPV with it, but I found mainly the toy grade things. This is sort of in between, because it's a hobby grade, sort of. I don't really like that much expo, so I just set 15% up on each channel. So you just do the click and spin just like before. So we click back, and throttle curves. So this one's a little bit interesting. The X252 comes set up with a throttle that maxes out at 80%, so you're only going to get 80% of your power. And I believe that's because it's to go a little bit easier on the battery and to help with just keep it a little bit more stable and a little bit more reserve and some less vibrations. But I have actually changed it. You can see it starts out on 0, so we go over to 2, 20, 45, 70, and then up to 90. So I increased the throttle by 10%, so I got 10% more power out of this thing, and theoretically there is 10% more. And just once again, you just click in, and you can put these up and down to whatever you like. But obviously, if you put them, you want to keep them as close to a straight linear curve as possible, because if you make it really weird, your throttle is just, you're not going to like your throttle. So I'd recommend these values right here, especially for the X252. For an advanced flyer. Now we click, or wait, one more, we gotta go back into this. So now if we flip our idle up switch on, that's gonna change our values. So now this is in for your 3D mode. You wanna go 100, 50, 25, 50, and 100. So basically 100, 50, 25, 50, 100. So it's, or no, 150, 25, 50, 100. There we go, because it's a little bit different when you're in 3D mode. So once again, I'd recommend these values right here for the X252. I've been testing these out, and that seems to give me pretty darn good 3D performance. So let's go back, and now we have P curve, and I can't figure out what these are. You can see here, this is just the stock things. I don't know if it's the pitch curve, like maybe it makes it more aggressive out on the edge, I don't know, but I haven't messed with them. Let's see if Dual Rates switches it or not. No, it does not, so I just leave them stock. And lastly, we have Gyro right here. So if we click on that, if we have this switch up right here, which is our self-leveling, you can see the gyro is at 80. So once again, to change that, just click in, on the button, and then scroll, and this is the strength of the accelerometer, and I found 80 to be a pretty good value. So then we flip this switch up here right down, and now this second one right next to the red button, and now this is for Acro Mode, and I found that this one, even at 0%, does still self-level just a tiny bit, just a little bit, but I found it's a little bit harder to fly that way, not because of the Acro Mode, just the way this one is. So I found that 8% gyro is a pretty good value, and still gives you the most possible acro or rate flying mode possible. So we click back on that again, and that's pretty much all these settings through here. So, you know, everything on there. So hopefully this video you found helpful, and that goes over everything on this transmitter. So once again, throttle hold here, dual rates here. I'm getting a little, camera's a little hard to get in this. And then your video on off here. This is your accelerometer turning on and off, and this is your idle up mode. So there we go. That was my overview and programming video on the XK X252 transmitter, the X6 or the X7. Like I said, it comes with tons of XK models, so I'm not really sure the actual name. But yeah, let me know if you have any more questions, and if you found this helpful. Hopefully it helps you get the best performance out of your X252 or any other quad you have, XK quad, because hopefully this should let you spruce up the performance, especially with the upping the rates to 125%, because they do not come stock like that. And it also could be very helpful for a beginner because you can tone them way down. So that was the end of the video. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.